Have you ever wondered why, after all these decades, the moon still feels unfinished? As if there's a missing chapter in our relationship with it, a chapter that someone, somewhere, quietly tore out and hid. Tonight, I want you to think about something that almost everyone takes for granted. That in 1969, humanity achieved the impossible. We left our world, crossed the void, and set foot on the surface of our ancient satellite. Everyone knows the images, the quotes, the flag, the dust, the triumph. But the moment you stop accepting the story as a neat and tidy monument, and you start looking between the frames, the moon landing becomes something else entirely. Not a single event, but a puzzle, a riddle, a doorway that perhaps we opened too soon, or never opened at all. Let me ask you something directly. Why does an achievement so monumental leave behind so many unanswered questions? Why is the story filled with missing data, lost tapes, inconsistent shadows, unexplained radio silence, strange astronaut behavior, and a sudden, almost suspicious decision to never go back? Not once. Not in over half a century. Why? Think about the nature of human ambition. When we discover something incredible, a new land, a resource, a scientific breakthrough, we push further. We study it, develop it, exploit it, expand on it. We build, we iterate, we push boundaries. Yet with the moon we touched it once, maybe a few times after, and then, nothing. The missions abruptly stopped. The enthusiasm collapsed. The technology supposedly used to get us there was dismantled or lost, as if the entire effort had never happened. If you accomplished something extraordinary in your life, something no one else on Earth managed to do, would you simply stop? Would you pack everything away and never repeat it? Or would you ask yourself what else is possible? And that's the strange thing. Humanity did not behave like a species that had just opened the gateway to the universe. Instead, we acted like a species that had seen something it wasn't prepared to understand. For a second, imagine the moon as more than a rock, more than a celestial body orbiting our planet. What if it's hiding something? Something ancient, something unexpected. And what if the first people who went there found themselves face to face with the truth of what the moon really is? A truth that was impossible to reveal without rewriting our entire understanding of history, science, and perhaps even our place in the cosmos. Let's go back to the footage, that grainy, iconic sequence, the shadows falling in directions that don't quite align, the lighting that seems almost too perfect, like the controlled environment of a studio set, the flag that appears to flutter despite the vacuum. You've heard the official debunking, of course you have. Camera anomalies, momentum, misinterpretation. But when you watch the video with fresh eyes, something feels rehearsed, almost directed, not random and chaotic as a never-before-attempted mission should look, but deliberate, framed, curated. Some people cling to the idea that the landing was staged, that it was filmed somewhere on Earth by people who needed to win the race for political reasons. And maybe parts of that theory feel too sensational. But what if the truth is more complex? What if the footage we were shown wasn't staged because they didn't go, but because they did, and what they saw wasn't suitable for the public? Think about those astronauts. Trained, disciplined, intelligent, prepared. When they're asked about their journey, their expressions sometimes change. Not fear, but something close to it. A kind of hesitation, a weight behind the eyes. Buzz Aldrin has hinted multiple times at unidentified objects following the spacecraft. NASA tried to reframe those comments as misinterpretations or jokes. But watch his face. Watch the seriousness. Watch the discomfort when the topic comes up. Imagine being up there, far from Earth, with only the hum of the spacecraft and the dead silence of space around you. Then imagine seeing something moving, something metallic, reflective, intelligently controlled. Not debris, not a star, not ice. Something that moved like it was alive. Or watching you. How would you react? And more importantly, how would you explain it to the rest of us? Now let's talk technology. The craft that supposedly carried humans to the moon had a computer less powerful than a cheap digital toy from the 1990s. The hull of the lander was thinner than a soda can. That's what we're told. And yes, great achievements can come from primitive tools, But ask yourself why such fragile materials were used in the first place. Why a mission with so many unknowns succeeded on the very first attempt. Why every major component worked flawlessly, despite being rushed, underfunded, and experimental. And here's something even stranger. After the Apollo program, NASA completely abandoned the hardware. They didn't store it, refine it, or rebuild it. They destroyed it. Completely. No backups, no preserved systems, no prototypes kept for study. Doesn't that feel strange to you? As if they weren't proud of it, but afraid of it, or trying to hide something embedded in the machinery itself. Then there are the missing tapes. The original telemetry data, the raw information from the mission, vanished. NASA claimed they were taped over. Just imagine that. The most important scientific data in human history casually erased. Why do that, unless you needed that data gone? Some people believe the moon landing was faked because the real mission, the secret mission, uncovered evidence of extraterrestrial structures, strange formations that looked like ruins, artificial shapes, patterns that didn't match natural geology, circular craters too perfect to be formed by random impacts. And perhaps the astronauts saw something no human was meant to see. Others speculate that the moon is not what we think it is, that it might be hollow, not naturally hollow like a cave, but engineered. A structure, a construct, a shell containing something or someone inside. Seismographs left by astronauts recorded odd vibrations that rang like a bell when struck. A natural satellite shouldn't behave like that, but an engineered one might. If humanity discovered something unnatural on the moon, what would be the logical reaction? Deny, conceal, control, present a sanitized narrative to avoid panic. Tell the world we had achieved everything we wanted, then quietly step away and pretend we never needed to return. And for decades, no one did. Ask yourself why no nation on Earth has confidently returned humans to the moon since. Ask yourself why space agencies spend billions sending robots to distant planets, but avoid sending humans back to the one place we've already conquered. Ask yourself why the moon, of all places, has become off-limits in practice, if not on paper. Perhaps the truth is simple. Someone, or something, told us not to come back. Or perhaps the moment we landed, we realized we were not the explorers, but the intruders. And so tonight, as you listen to these words, I want you to reflect on the moon not as a cold, barren rock, but as a guardian of secrets. Secrets buried in its dust. Secrets that have shaped the silence that followed 1969. Whether the moon landing was real, faked, partially staged, or entirely misunderstood, one truth remains: the official version of events leaves more questions than answers. And until humanity returns, truly returns, those questions will remain suspended above us in the night sky, glowing quietly, patiently, waiting for someone brave enough to ask them out loud. Look up at the moon tonight. Really look at it, and ask yourself, what happened the last time humans went there? And why have we never gone back?